Hello, Quesnel, and welcome to Q Today. I'm Allison Duddy.
And I'm Ron Campbell, and this is our show for March the 5th.
All right, our top stories from the Observer. The candidates weigh in on the provincial budget, and a story on the myth of hormones. Chicken farmers receive buy local money to fight these myths.
What, to fight the hormones? Or?
The hormone myth.
And also coming up, Susan MacNeill has another segment of her Stop, Shop, and Save in Quesnel.
All right, so here at Q Today, we bring you the recent news provided by our partnership with the Quesnel Caribou Observer, combined with a bit of our own commentary, and we also bring you our own stories from the community. And remember, we do just give the highlights here, so if you want to get all the details, be sure to pick up your copy of the Quesnel Caribou Observer. And now, over to my co-host here, Ron, for some news.
Thank you, Allison. It's nice to be back again.
Great.
We've been apart for a while.
That's right.
The BC Liberals have just tabled their budget last weekend, and it's forecasted that they're going to call it a disciplined budget. When I was reading this, Allison, I thought disciplined, that means you're not going to talk back. Anyway, with a debt projected to be $1.2 billion in 2012 and 2013, the government had been hoping to leave the red ink behind. They are forecasting surplus budgets in the next 3 years. Here's the reaction. Our independent MLA, Bob Simpson, said the budget is hard to take seriously as it's coming before an election. Liberal candidate Coralie Oakes lauded the government for tough decisions, saying the government will not spend money they do not have. Candidate Duncan Barnett of the NDP said the budget is not as balanced as the Liberals make it out to be. He states that it's based on overestimating revenues and underfunding ministries. Simpson agrees with Barnett that the premiums for MSP, their increase is what is called a regressive tax. Oakes stands by the budget. She is happy with her party's budget, calling it prudent and disciplined. Finance Minister Mike de Jong says, this is what he says, we fought our way back, but others have different opinions. Jack Filnuson, Vice President of the Business Council of BC, on the budget's increasing of corporate taxes to 11% from 10% 1 year earlier than planned. He says, we are quite concerned about the challenges that we are facing in BC with respect to our competitiveness, and unfortunately, this budget really doesn't say much about that. Glenn Hansman, second vice president of the BC Teachers Federation, he says that the amount for education is a flat line in this budget. It didn't go up last year, and it's not going up again. So big ticket items like class size, class composition, it doesn't look like there's any plan in this budget to deal with these things. What do you think? Send us your comments at QToday at qcatv.ca and let us know what you think. All spectrums of society have replied on this budget. We'd certainly like to hear from you. Allison.
You bet. Thanks, Ron. All right, well, Buy Local is a movement that started back in 2005 when the authors of The 100-Mile Diet, Alyssa Smith and J.B. McKinnon, started their articles in the Tyee about eating locally. This turned into a book deal and then a movement. Even the provincial government is getting in on it now, creating a fund called Buy Local, which offers matching funds up to $100,000 to help provincial food growers market their products. The latest investment was $15,500 of matched funds to the BC Chicken Growers Association for them to produce a short movie, along with some literature, to promote BC chicken and dispel myths about provincial growers. Two of the main myths that the growers want to dispel include the use of steroids and hormones in the chickens and that the chickens are raised in cages. In fact, the use of steroids and hormones in chickens has been illegal since the 60s, and all chickens raised to eat are free-run. The Chicken Growers Association has also created a movable mini chicken barn to help educate people, as the general public isn't allowed in working chicken barns. I think that would be kind of cool, Ron.
Yes.
So with more than 300 poultry farmers around the province, the industry is the second largest agricultural industry in BC, with farmers generating just under $500 million in total combined revenue in 2011. That's a substantial amount.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And if you had a mobile chicken coop, then you would know what it means to hear a chicken cluck. And I'll say that quickly.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Further on, the College of New Caledonia, what else is new? They have raised their tuition by 2% this fall, and it's predicted that it'll generate about $100,000, depending on enrollment and final approval by the government. It will help, but we'll still have some work to do to submit a balanced budget, says CNC President John Bowman. The college is working to resolve a predicted $1 million shortfall for the 2013-14 fiscal year. Due to rising costs and overall funding, the board says it's not going to keep pace for dealing with this projected shortfall. Finally, 2013-14 operating budget approval will occur at their board meeting on April the 26th. You know, it's amazing that in Quebec they tried to do this, and there was nothing but complaints and the riot and everything else.
I remember that.
And you know, one other thing I notice, anytime they're going to raise something, they never lower anything, like salaries, other things like expenses and so on. So I think that they sometimes look at the wrong end of the spectrum when they're going to try and balance a budget.
Yeah, good point, Ron. Thanks. Well, my co-host here, Ron, will be talking with Michelle Godfrey about Relay for Life coming up in just a little bit. But Cara Purdue submitted an article in Friday's Observer taking the time to thank all of the businesses and individuals who sponsor the Canadian Cancer Society's Relay for Life each year. Major local sponsors, Fountain Tire and the Quesnel Bakery, as well as regional sponsors, Scotiabank and CIBC, are all returning sponsors. And while there are already too many sponsors to mention in a single article, the CCS wants each of them to know how much their support is appreciated. New sponsors are always welcome and can contact Michelle at 778-414-1222 for more information. And a thank you also goes out to everyone who has donated to the Relay for Life silent auction, and they are still looking for businesses and individuals interested in donating to the silent auction. And if you're interested in donating something, you can contact Carolyn Dragonoff at 992-5877 or cdragonoff@hotmail.com. Team packages also are available at the Canadian Cancer Society Resource Centre, which is at 332 Front Street, and you can also register online at www.relaybc.ca/Quesnel2013. We'll try and put that on the bottom of the screen because that's a lot to remember.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed that discussion with Michelle. She's quite the vibrant young lady, and what a great volunteer to have.
Definitely. We look forward to that coming up.
Yes. Next, as the Forest Act amendments have been introduced recently, and it's to help improve forest stewardship and support community resilience in mountain pine beetle impacted areas. The legislation fulfills recommendations made by the Special Committee on Timber Supply in their August 2012 report, which was based on public hearings and written submissions from First Nations, local communities, industry stakeholders, and the public. The legislation proposes a new section, 34.1, be added to the Forest Act that will create the ability to convert volume-based forest licenses to area-based tree farm licenses at the ministry. Invitation. Supporting area-based tenures has a number of benefits, such as creating an incentive for license holders to make enhanced silviculture and infrastructure investments that will improve, I should say, the midterm timber supply. Another important legislative amendment will create a supplemental forest license which ensures wood fiber can be obtained for bioenergy, pellet producers, and secondary manufacturers by providing greater fiber security for license holders. The legislation will also create the ability to establish substantial minimum harvest limits on the amount of low-grade timber credited to a non-sawlog facility. A number of related and consequential amendments are also included in the legislation, such as creating regulation-making powers, and that was some sort of report. How come you always give me the forestry ones?
I'm sorry, Ron. I'm sitting over here. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of big words in that
I'll tell you.
Good job.
It's not so much the big words, it's getting past those extra syllables.
Okay. All right. So moving on to sports. In curling, the youth year-end bonspiel took place recently at the Quesnel Curling Club. The program ran for 13 weeks with 26 curlers ages 7 to 12. And that's great to see some of the young curlers, coming up and getting into the sport, for me personally anyway.
Yes, that's your favorite.
It's one of my favorites, for sure. So also that same weekend, the Spectra Energy Men's Bonspiel took place. And on the Friday night, Dave Plant, manager of the Quesnel Curling Club, agreed to have his head shaved if the curlers would donate money to go towards my wheelchair curling team to help with the costs of us going to the National Wheelchair Curling Championships, which are coming up in Ottawa near the end of the month. And I, Ron, am super excited to tell our viewers that the Spectra Curlers raised $2,000, and those funds were matched by Nove Wilson, who was the sponsor of the event. I was actually in Vancouver for a team practice, and Dave gave us a call. We put him on speakerphone, and I can't tell everyone how excited me personally and our team was to hear the news of this $4,000 that's being contributed towards our team to go to nationals. So now we can focus on our curling. We don't have to worry about the fundraising part of it. And I would personally, on behalf of my team, skip Gary Cormack, third Frank LaBounty, second Vince Miele, and alternate Samantha Sue, a huge heartfelt thank you to Dave at the Curling Club, who actually ended up having his mustache and his beard shaved also. I guess they were trying for the eyebrows, but Dave wasn't having any of that there. So also big thank yous to all the curlers who donated, and Nove Wilson for matching the donated funds. And if I could just take another minute, Ron, to thank Clayton's funeral directors, Richard and Leonard there, made a substantial donation to the team as well. And a lot of local businesses contributed to our raffle basket, which we're going to be raffling off at the Curling Club, with funds also going towards the team. So,
Allison, it's money well donated because you represent Quesnel really, really well, you and your teammates.
Well, thank you.
So
I appreciate it. And you know what? I am so proud to come from this community, and the support that we've received is just
unreal.
Thank you doesn't seem like enough, quite honestly.
But again, it shows what Quesnel residents are like.
That's
they
right.
always come forward.
You bet.
And through for those people,
That's
for
right.
all of us.
Well, it's
actually.
much appreciated.
Yeah, so, and good luck, by the way.
Thank you.
However, who's going to take your place here?
I think we might be on spring break that week, actually, so it works out pretty good. But I'll give a full report when I get back.
Sounds good. You can't send anything by Skype or anything like that.
I might be able to do that.
Hey, there we go.
We'll see how it goes.
Talking about representing Quesnel, Allison, our under-19 ringette team just won the provincial championship and
Good for
bringing home
them.
gold.
Oh,
This
that's
is the
fantastic.
fourth gold medal that they've taken this ringette season. So they won their last game on Sunday, 6-0, and my granddaughter arrived home at about 12:30, and I don't know if I'll see her for the next 2 days. She'll probably sleep that time.
Sleeping it off.
But no, so we've
Well, good for them.
yes, very
That's
good. So we'll have
great.
more of that, I'm sure, coming up in later segments.
You bet. All right, thanks, Ron. So as Ron mentioned earlier, Susan MacNeill is back again with another segment on home-based businesses. This time, Susan speaks with Lenore Yorston of the Australian Ranch, where they run the Caribou Corn Maze and Haunted House. Let's take a look.
Good day, Quesnel. It's Susan MacNeill here with our Quesnel Home-Based Business segment, and we just wanted to welcome Lenore Yorston.
Hi, Susan.
Caribou's Corn Maze, which is south of town, down Alexandria Way. And I hear you're celebrating a milestone anniversary here this year.
110 years the Yorstons have owned the ranch, so it was actually started in 1860s, but anyhow, but the Yorstons have owned it since 1903.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So what is it that you're going to do for your 110th anniversary? That sounds pretty amazing.
Well, I'm going to do the maze to our logo, so it'll be a little different this year instead of just paths. So anyhow, I'll give you something to work on when you're going through it, because you'll know what it looks like this year. Usually you don't know what it looks like, but
so when you're talking about the maze logo, just for our viewers that don't know this, that the Yorston property has Quesnel's Corn Maze, that you actually drive down to the ranch and you actually walk through a maze,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
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 So how did that get started?
Well, at our family reunion in 2004, we had to have entertainment, so that's what we made, a 9-acre maze. And they said, well, you have to open it up to the public because it's too good just to plow under. So, and we've been doing it ever since.
9 acres, Lenore? Is that how big it is?
Yeah.
Gee, I know when I come down and go over the hill to come visit Lenore, I look at the corn maze and think, oh, I know how to get in and out of there now because I've seen it from the top side, but I didn't realize it was quite 9 acres.
9 acres,
oh my gosh.
So it's a nice walk. Takes you, 20 minutes to half an hour to get through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's if you don't get lost.
If you don't get lost. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you have a lookout? Do you have someone keeping an eye on where people are? Or?
No, it's just like at the end of the day, if there's a car there, well, we have to go look for them.
So we'll go look for people if we have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the ranch that you're on and the corn maze and the. I know you do a barbecue and that sort of thing. What are some of the activities that you do throughout the fall?
Well, it's we start on August the 1st. The maze opens usually for the long weekend, BC Day weekend. So goes from there, open from dawn till dusk every day, and then start in September. Then the night mazes start. Well, we'll open up from dusk till 11 o'clock if you want to book in, and it's the day maze is $2 a piece, but when you do the night maze it's $3 a piece, and we light a fire and you have lights around the sitting area, and anyhow, and you can just book a group in to go through. And then
so you're going through, excuse me, but you're going through in the dark.
Oh, in the dark, yeah.
Okay.
Gotta
Can you take flashlights?
Bring flashlights. Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
bring
good.
Flashlights or sticks.
Glow sticks.
Glow sticks. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we have them by the busload from Prince George and Williams.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really popular, and so. And then in October, then we start the 4th, 5th, 6th of October. We start the haunted mazes, and so that's from 7 to 9:30. And yeah, make sure you bring a flashlight. You go through the haunted house, the haunted maze. It's all for $5. And
oh my goodness!
So and then it's again on the 7th, 8th, or 11th, 12th, 13th. Then
okay.
Same thing, 7 o'clock to 9:30.
Oh, okay.
Then in the daytime on the Sundays, both the Sundays, we have it for the kids, so it's not so scary.
Okay.
And so it's from 11 till 3, and it's just mildly scary for the little kids, and they love it. And we have wagon rides, and they can visit the animals and wander the farm and play in the creek or whatever they want to do, and it's all for $5 a person. So, and 2 and under don't pay for.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
So it's just wonderful family entertainment.
It is.
A little bit south of town, so it's a very nice drive to come on down to Alexandria. And you do advertise in the local paper. I have seen that are.
Yeah, when it comes to the haunted ones, yeah, because it's because you always have to have the dates and the times and all that. So.
So tell us, Lenore, give us your phone number so our viewers will know how to get in touch with you.
250-747-8339, and you can email me at lenore@australianranch.ca. Our website is www.australianranch.ca, and you can email me from the website.
webpage? Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
anyhow, and yeah, it's
So
Just
you're right
fun.
into the 21st century. You've got a web page, you've got email,
yes.
you've got various ways to contact you,
Yep.
and I
Okay.
know you're busy.
Yes.
Yes.
There's always something on the go. But yeah, and then we have schools. Like lots of schools do the day maze, like schools and church groups and that.
Oh, they book it. Okay.
They do the day maze, and yeah, it's the same thing. It's just $2 a person, and yeah. So,
And away you go.
And they can do their own thing. They can have a wiener roast. We'll light the fires for them, and we've got a bunch of wiener sticks, so lots of them do it that way. And so yeah, it's
Oh, how fun.
really fun. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
well, there you go, folks. This is just another home-based business in our community that you may or may not have known about, but be looking for that in the August 1st weekend when they first get started. And I can't thank you enough, Lenore, for coming today.
Thanks, Susan.
Just been super. So that's it for us for this week, Quesnel. Thank you.
Well, Relay for Life is gearing up for what hopes to be another great event. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with Michelle Godfrey and discuss how, as a community, Quesnel can fight cancer. Let's take a look at our interview. Hello and welcome. I'm Ron Campbell. I'm here for QToday. And in the studio with us, I have Michelle Godfrey, and she's with Relay for Life. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, Ron. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Great, thank you.
Good. And how are things going with the Relay? Last time we talked, you said that you were going to have some special stuff happening and so forth. So I guess we should review when it started, how many volunteers. It's all up to you now.
Well, we have just over a dozen people on our main leadership team, and then it filters down from there. We have quite a few volunteers, always looking for more, of course.
Right.
Currently, we're looking at getting our Fight Back team together for volunteers.
I'm sorry?
Our Fight Back team.
Fight Back. What?
We have a Fight Back ceremony where, and the last couple of years, it's been some teenagers from Coraloo and QS, and that's where they give us our messages on how to fight back and fight against cancer.
Excellent. So we're getting some very young people in there too.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's great to see the kids coming out to help out.
That's nice to hear. Tell me, how are the arrangements coming for the big event?
The big event is getting big, absolutely. Last night we had a team captain information session, and we had a great turnout, probably 30-40 people last night. We meet, it's a full-time job basically. We're constantly working on getting activities together and organizing different ceremonies and just the whole day itself.
Wow. There's usually a goal to get so many teams in. How's that going?
It's going great. Kathy Briggs is just rocking the teams this year. Actually, today being March 1st was our last day for early bird deadline.
Oh, yeah.
So as of tomorrow, it goes up to $20 for registration fees. I'm not exactly sure where the numbers were as of today, but I know yesterday and this morning we've had teams just coming in like crazy trying to register. Our goal is 40 teams this year.
Wow. Well, let's hope you make that.
I'm confident we'll surpass that this year.
So it sounds like everything's going quite well. How are the advertising end of it? Are you getting quite a good coverage from both? Well, we got Shaw, of course, and the radio and the Quesnel Observer. How's that coming?
It's going fabulous. We couldn't ask for better supporters as far as media. Kara Purdue is our media liaison, and she's sending in weekly articles to the Caribou Observer, and they're publishing it. So as teams, if you have anything going on, be sure to email us and we can get that into the paper for you. And of course, the radio station has us going on our advertisements as well, weekly.
Michelle, if I wanted to put in a team, what process would I have to go through?
Well, there's a couple different processes. You could just go directly to the Quesnel Relay for Life webpage and register online, or you can go to the Canadian Cancer Society office and pick up a team package, or you could call Kathy Briggs at 747-1739 off the top of my head. And she's chair of teams and she can help you out with that.
Michelle, you're a very busy lady yourself. You've got twins and so forth. How do you find the time to do this volunteering?
Very easy, because it's something I'm very passionate about, so I just simply make the time.
So what would you say to our viewers out there that should be out here volunteering, not only for Relay for Life, but we have so many other charitable organizations out there that are just crying for volunteers?
I would just simply say, go with your heart. If you find something that you're interested in, there always seems to be time, whether it's an hour a week, 5 hours a week, or 30 hours a month. It just seems to add up, and I know that every little bit helps.
Michelle, if this was the last opportunity you had to push Relay for Life, what would you say?
I would say that come out, and if you don't know what Relay for Life is all about, I would just suggest come down to the park May 25th. Ceremonies start at 10:30, and come see what we're all about. And you will see that there's going to be some crying, some laughter, and a lot of hugs going on.
That's for sure. I've been to quite a few of them, Michelle. I try to get to all of them. As president of the Canadian Cancer Society, I'll have to show up probably this time for sure. Michelle, if the weather, for instance, should go bad on us, which it shouldn't because we've had such good weather up to now, is there alternative arrangements made?
No, we're there, rain or shine or snow, we're there. So just make sure that you come with your sunscreen and your hat and an umbrella.
Now, some of these events go 24 hours. How long is our event?
Our event is 12 hours here, where we have been grandfathered in. So we start at 10:30 and end about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay. To summarize, it's May the 20th?
May the 25th at Laborde Park.
And you start at what time?
10:30.
10:30.
So I would recommend coming early, and teams, like we're down there as volunteers starting at 7 o'clock in the morning getting set up. Teams are welcome to come down at 9 and get their tent set up.
Okay. So Michelle, if I don't have a team there, but I want to participate, I just show up and
Just show up.
and I can walk around there until I get dizzy, right?
Absolutely. But this year, though, it's more than just walking around the track. Oh, yes. We are going to have activities this year, which is something that we've always had. But more than activities, we are with our theme, Time for a Cure. We are pulling in different times, like Christmas time, Easter time.
Oh, yes.
Halloween time, so you never know. There might be some trick-or-treating or some Easter egg hunting, or
Oh, my
so
goodness.
we have a lot going on.
So Michelle, just to wrap it up, what are you going to have a guest speaker or anything like that, or is it just going to be entertainment? Is there entertainment there too?
Absolutely, there's tons of entertainment. We have all sorts of stuff happening, from belly dancing to live bands playing, and we do not have at this time our speakers narrowed down and committed, but that is something that we are currently working on in the background.
Well, Michelle, I want to thank you very much for taking time out of a very busy schedule that you have, for coming in and talking about Relay. Now, you viewers out there, I certainly hope that you've heard the message. Please get out there, get yourself involved, either volunteer or show up on May the 25th. And Michelle, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again about Relay for Life.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you for having me.
We would again like to thank the Lions for their continued support of the QToday show and remind you that their monthly garage sale takes place on March 23rd at Maple Park Mall.
Well, that's it for this show. We want to hear from you with your story, your comments on our show, and how are we doing? Whether you think it's important, we think it's important. So email us at qtoday@qcatv.ca with your story, or ask us to cover a story you know the community would just love to know about.
And also, you can watch us anytime on the web thanks to our colleague Eddie D'Souza at qcatv.ca. And we're also on Facebook, Big Q, Big T, all one word. And as we leave you today, here's some more great music from Christine Allen and friends. Enjoy.
Remember,
Q Today is about.
Quesnel talking to Quesnel.
Bye for now.